Veda and
Okay, I've started the recording. That is good. And
Mona? Mona?
and
So it
okay, yeah, got
either
it. Got it. Okay, you guys can see this?
Yeah, we are seeing.
Great. So let me just go to the beginning of this. Okay, this was the initial first slide that we had shown you. See how this Jeevan Vidya and what is it? So Jeevan Vidya is a proposal for living in harmony within human and human nature relationships and thus realizing happiness and peace. Second was Jeevan Vidya is based on Madhyas Darshan, which is a new philosophy whose original propounder is Sri A. Nagaraj, 1920 to 2016 of Amarkantha. This can be achieved through the study of humans and preservation of humanness. I, Ashok Gopala, present this proposal to you as a student of Jeevan Vidya. I am responsible for the content of this presentation, which is how I have interpreted Jeevan Vidya. So basically in this slide, we're talking about Jeevan Vidya as a proposal for living in harmony. And harmony is to be seen between the humans and human-human relationships and human nature relationships. And this is what will result in happiness and peace. Okay, this is the proposal of Jeevan Vidya. The second point we're making is Jeevan Vidya is based in Madhyas Darshan, which is a new philosophy which was propounded by Sri A. Nagaraj, who used to live in Amarkantha. I've shared the story of his life with you guys. This can be achieved through study of humans and preservation of humanness. So this harmony can be achieved by study of humans. So the study of human beings is an important part, and preservation of the humanness is the goal that we want. Okay.
I'm seeing a black screen. Is anyone else also seeing the same?
So
I'm not
do
able
I.
to see this.
I have
Black
the
screen?
same problem also. Yeah. I too.
Still, you see a blank.
Still.
Black. It's a
Yeah,
black
me
color
too. I
screen.
see a black screen too.
Oh, wow.
I don't see the
It's a black
screen.
screen. Unable to view your presentation.
Okay, let me just see maybe this. I'll stop and restart again.
Mm.
Okay, that's the problem. You still see the black screen?
No, now I
Now
can
it's
see.
visible. Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's visible.
Now it's visible.
Okay, great. Okay. So, any questions on this part? You know, and I'm also sharing here that I am sharing this presentation, this workshop with you as a student, a long-term student of Jeevan Vidya. Okay. So, and this is my version of Jeevan Vidya, how I have interpreted it. Right? So the responsibility of this presentation and whatever is said during the workshop or after that is the interpretation which I have taken. There could be differences with different other presenters, right? So because we're still students, that is the essence of this part. Okay. So any questions on this part? Okay, I presume that no questions there. What it is, we had talked about the Jeevan Vidya is a movement for raising awareness about coexistential harmony in humankind. It is a proposal for enabling harmonious thinking, harmonious behavior, harmonious work in humans at all levels. Jeevan Vidya proposes educational methodology which is based in purposeful reasoning for enabling above. The focus of this proposed study is human beings. Study of human being is human purpose, human role, human potential abilities, human potential conscious states, life, human beings, stages of life journey, etc. In context of existence. This is what this is about. What it is not a sect or commune. That means there are no rituals in this. There are no conditions of do's and don'ts. Okay. It is not based on any prevalent religion, spiritual school, ideology, philosophy. It is not for making money or fame. And therefore, all Jeevan Vidya workshops are offered as a gift to the. So all the Jeevan Vidya work, sharing, whether we are doing it in form of workshops or advanced study camps, all these are free of cost as far as the teaching and learning is concerned. So the only thing which the participants are expected to pay for is the food and stay. And that depends on who's hosting that event. So if like I'm going to take a workshop in Banda in November, there the host say we don't even want payments for food and stay. So anybody can come and participate and they will take care of food and stay there. Right. So that workshop is totally free. But in other places like Hills, it is a little more expensive, and institutions, depending on their structure, they take various kinds of charges. So different places have different kind of things. So yeah. So any questions on that about this basic background information? Anyway, okay.
Continue, sir.
Okay. Okay. So just a second. Yeah. So the proposal, the Jeevan Vidya, what is the Jeevan Vidya proposal? It is all nature except humans exists as a spontaneous system driven by collaboration. This is coexistence. And here we are defining system as multiple units or components fulfilling a common purpose by functioning in harmony with each other over a sustained duration. The second point is of this proposal is humans. And when we say the word humans, individuals, families, society, tradition, humans in all forms, not only individuals, but also families, society, tradition, are also an integral part of nature and the opportunity and resources to live in this harmonious system are available to us. So we have the opportunity and we have the resources to live in harmony. All human achievements are a result of collaboration, that is combined effort. So the third point we are connecting here is that whatever we have achieved till date, historically, humankind, whatever it has achieved till date has been through collaboration, that is combined effort, not through individual or small groups efforts. Whatever we have achieved is overall collaboration. Collaboration is being mutually useful and complementary in one's surrounding. So when we collaborate with fellow human beings and collaborate with nature, then we have achievements. Ignorance is only cause of inability to collaborate, and the lack of awareness, which is what we are calling ignorance, is the only cause of inability to collaborate. So what we in common day language called selfishness or being only worried about oneself, and that is when we start exploiting each other. by not collaborating with each other. So exploitation is equal to depriving one of its necessity. Like we are, say, doing farming. So when we are doing farming, we put the seed in the ground, and to get a better yield, we start exploiting the soil. What does that mean? That we don't allow all these elements which are supposed to go back into the soil to enrich it. We don't allow that, and we try to keep taking it. Modern day farming has become like that. Like we are trying to take away the share of our share, definitely. Then the share of the animal world, like some insects, some birds, they will take some share, but we don't want to give it to them. So we use insecticides, pesticides, and things like that. And we do not allow any other crop to grow, any other plant to grow, except for the one which we want to grow. Right? So that kind of thing, and there have been other experiments which have been done, which have been shown by others, like Fukuoka's agricultural techniques, in which a lot of things are grown together, like permaculture, where several things. We went to visit the permaculture farm in Beer. So a lot of things are grown together, not doing monocrop. So when we do exploitative action, it is basically we try to take away share of others and try to deprive others of their necessary things. That is why it is being called exploitation, whether we do it with humans, whether we do it with nature.
And whether we're trying to do it or whether we happen to do it, like whether or not we intend to deprive the others, if they're
Yeah.
getting deprived, then it's exploitation.
Right. So it can be through knowing or through ignorance, both. So yeah, both are issues. Anybody wants to say anything or ask anything in this?
So how do you, can I say?
Yes, please.
So how do you evaluate what is someone else's share? And I mean, I know you said the thing about what is right wealth, right? That
Yeah.
you had explained in the Shivil. So is that the benchmark, or is there some other way to check that we are exploiting or we're not?
So it depends on what activity we are doing. Suppose we are doing it with nature, like the example we took, agriculture. Then we have to understand balance and harmony. So if your farmland has got balance and harmony, then the indications of it would be that all kinds of life will flourish there. You will have plants, crops also flourishing, trees also flourishing, insects, uh, small snakes and other things also present in the thing. And we have seen that whenever you start doing organic farming, a lot of life comes about in your farm. Right. So that with nature, you start seeing balance and harmony because of the flourishing of all kinds of things. Right? With human beings, it is basically we have to, because human beings are conscious beings. So conscious beings, one has to understand what is the expectations the other person is having. So therefore, the study of human being is very important. So what are the basic expectations which are there in human being? That is what we understand through relationships. And then what is the system under which, or what is the organization or orderliness under which we are interacting, and what is my role in that, and what is my share in that, what is the share of the other people. Like we live in family. So the biggest problem in families today is that we are not aware of our responsibilities as well as our rights. So therefore we are not sure of each other's expectations. So everybody expects something more than their rights, and everybody is not fulfilling their responsibilities as per others. So there is a confusion, there is lack of clarity of this, right? So understanding the system and its balance, that is the only thing which will determine what is necessary. Does that answer your question?
Yes, perfectly. Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Perfectly fine, sir.
Okay. So this is a proposal we are talking about, right? So everything, the main thing to take away from this is that we are not alone. We are with amongst many things, right? And everything is systematic in nature. And if we look at the nature besides human beings, everything is working in tandem, everything is in harmony, right? And it is humans, we are also part of this nature only, and we also have the opportunity and resources to live in harmony, which basically means that we have to choose to live in harmony. And to make such a choice, we have to understand the need of harmony. To understand the need, we have to observe certain things. One of the things to observe is that whatever we have achieved till date is through collaboration. And collaboration is a combined effort, right? And without combined effort, we don't achieve anything. If you look at human beings physically or biologically, we are not very strong, or our bodies are not something which can survive as an individual. It is our ability to cooperate with each other, to collaborate with each other, that makes us do so many things. That has made us the most powerful beings on this planet, right? But in this collaboration, we have tried to only benefit a small group, individual selves or our families or small groups. At the best, we have talked about benefiting a nation, but never about the benefit of the whole humankind. And for, say, before last 50, 100 years back, we were also fighting against the nature. We never considered that we had to live in harmony with nature, right? So in the mainstream, at least, the thing was to dominate the nature. Now that the ecological problems are coming up, then we are out of fear thinking about that maybe we need to live in harmony with the nature, right? So we have to collaborate with nature also. So if you have to, for example, do any sort of production, we need to understand the natural systems. Once we understand the natural systems, then only will we be able to have a systematic approach to it. If you understand soil, you understand insects, you understand bacterial life, then you can actually do amazing work in the farms, right? For example, that is an example. Okay, moving on. So what is collaboration? Collaboration is systematic approach process that benefits all the participants is defined as collaboration. So this one thing which we need to pay attention to. Manjuji has joined. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. There is some sound coming from you. Huh?
Yeah, I'll go to another location. One second.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what is collaboration? It is a systematic process that benefits all the participants. That is what we are calling collaboration. So suppose we are in a family. So a process which benefits all the families, family members would be called collaboration. Suppose we are in a village or a community. All the processes in which everybody is getting benefit out of it, then it is a collaboration. And a collaboration will have a component of human-human collaboration and human-nature collaboration. So any process which is not exploiting any particular part, right? Not exploiting nature, not exploiting any group of people, which means we are nurturing each other. We are nurturing fellow human beings and we are nurturing nature. That is what is being called collaboration. Till now, humankind has used a lot of systematic approach, but that is aimed at for the benefit of a few. Those at the top will reap the benefits and others will not. So that has been the problem in our systems. We have adopted system. We have tried to collaborate. We have tried to work in teamwork, but it is for the benefit of the few and at the cost of many. This is what has resulted in this huge divide of the rich and the poor. If you look at humankind right now, all the wealth which is there in the society, it is very lopsided. The top 5-10% own 90% of the wealth, right? And the 90% of the population has access to only 10% of the wealth or something like that. Okay. So that is not collaboration. The models that we are following, the systems, the institutions that we have established right now are not collaborative. That is the essence of the sentence. Okay, and they need to be collaborative. Collaboration emerges from total commitment to collective goal. So you can only collaborate if you have a collective goal. If you remember anywhere you worked as a team or as a group, then there would be a collective purpose, a purpose which is accepted by all the participants. Then only can that collective or that team can work together for that goal. Right? So collaboration emerges from the total commitment to the collective goal. And commitment comes from total acceptance of the collective goal. So to be committed to that collective goal, you have to accept it. You have to agree to it as well as accept it. That you must find that this is needed and this is necessary. Without seeing the necessity of it, you will not accept it. Total acceptance is a result of comprehensive understanding. So total acceptance comes from when you properly understand something and see its connections with and the whole system you are able to see. Then only can you have total acceptance of a common goal or the collective goal. So if let's take an example. If we're talking about a family. So in a family, a collective goal, what could be the collective goal? Now to understand the collective goal, we have to understand what is the family. What is the purpose of the family? What are its components? How is it integrated with the society? How is it integrated with the nature? What is its role on the planet Earth? Till the time we understand these things, we will not be able to identify the collective goal and accept the collective. That's why comprehensive understanding is needed. That's why, because all of you have gone through the workshop, you know that we talk about from a very big scale, from the existential scale to the atomic scale, all the systems we talk about and to understand. Understanding is the desired outcome of education. So here, the other point is that humans engage in educational process, which is the teaching learning process between the previous generation and the next generation, right? So what is the purpose of education? The purpose of the education is to make the next generation understand the collective goal, right? That is the purpose of education. So that if they have understanding of all the system, all the natural systems, all the human system, then only will they be able to live in collaboration. So to enable them to live in collaboration, they need to have understanding, and for that is what the education system is supposed to do, right? So whatever format of education we are taking, whether we are homeschoolers or unschoolers or school systems or whatever board we are taking, the goal has to be collaborative living, right? And for that, comprehensive understanding. Right? Wherever there are gaps in collaboration, it is due to the gaps in education. So wherever we see that some system is not working, that basically means collaboration is not taking place. Some people are feeling exploited and some are feeling left out, right? In all such cases, it is basically lack of collaboration, lack of understanding of the systems, which is absent in them. And this is because their education is not yet complete. This is what we're saying. So, any questions from you on this? We'll only take this much content today, and now we'll only have discussions on basis of it, right? Otherwise, this will become one-sided meeting. All of you have the presentation with you, right?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So yeah, any questions or any topic you want to share, how your understanding or what you feel about this, right? If you want me to go back to some slides, some content, I can do that too.
I would just like to share and also go deeper into the collective goal that we're talking of for collaboration. And I'll share an example uh, of, I think, excellent collaboration, which in during COVID we about 8 to 10 of us we decided to bring all the artisanal sector together. And we almost had about 1,000 people within 2 months on board, all as volunteers. And the whole idea was to actually to have a collaborative way of working, and not uh, because because it was a volunteer led movement. And uh, So we've been actually working. It's been what 4 years now, 4 years. We've been working on in a very collaborative manner, and the way we achieved that was when we started with 1,000 people. We did this whole exercise of their personal vision and the vision of this movement, which we called creative dignity. How each one of us, our personal vision, we could see in the larger vision of the collective. And I think that made each one of us, there were about 1,000 people, each of us invest so much in it, because it was a collective goal, but it was also everybody's own vision was in sync with the larger vision. And I think that's what kept this whole movement together for almost 4 years now. It is still a volunteer movement, and still a completely collaborative work that's happening. So it's one of the best examples I've seen of collaboration. So I just wanted to share that with you. But then in the I also noticed that, see, when there's a at work also, um, when there's a challenge, or there's an issue, or there's a project at hand, it's easier. But on a day-to-day basis, how to sustain that, how to sustain the collaborative, not just the collaboration, but how to uh, keep keep people kind of motivated in the collaboration. What are the factors of motivation in collaboration?
Good question. Very good question. So you see, right now the models of collaboration that we have now, there are a few people in a large group. There are only few people who are actually motivated for this collaboration, and they keep driving the whole process, the whole project. They keep taking care of things, and wherever there are issues, they try to resolve it. Uh, the This is not wrong or anything, but this is not a complete model as such, right? What we need is a collective where each individual has that motivation. And motivation is a function of your understanding. So we have to, along with collaborating, because some work has to be done, because life goes on every day. But along with this, we need to have processes for education, so that this need for collaboration and the usefulness of this collaboration is known to each and every participant of that project or process, right? So humans can never have a project where there is no educational program associated with it. So we have to keep raising each other's awareness. So we need to have dialogues. Yeah. Right?
So by education, you really mean about awareness.
Awareness, raising awareness.
Yeah. And how does one achieve that? By dialogues?
Yeah, with dialogues, by sharing. See, if you remember, when we started the workshop, what we did was we started talking to each other, and we were all strangers at that time. But the moment we realized that we could express our opinions, and these are not going to be judged, we are not trying to come to some conclusion here, and we are not trying to say this is right and this is wrong. The moment this goes away, then we were able to express more freely, right? And that is what led to our being able to speak with each other freely, and that is what resulted in bonding. Right? And the whole workshop and whole presentation was in form of presentation of proposals. So when it is in terms of proposal, that basically means, look, you can understand it like this, but even if you don't understand, there is no problem. I mean, there is no insistence that you must understand it. You must accept it. A proposal is never imposed. It's not an imposition. So these two parts, one is being non-judgmental in discussions, and whatever whatever we want to share with others, it is not an imposition. If we ensure this, then the dialogues become successful.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I think to have the dialogue, you also have to have each member, um, uh, you know, being sort of receptive or open to the dialogue. Sometimes one also finds that it's sometimes it's also an effort to get one of the members to um, to be able to listen. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the basis of dialogue, I guess. But
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
People will come with their own tendencies, with their own nature, right? But if they feel comfortable in the group, people start adopting practices which are more conducive to the group. But if they are not comfortable in the group, they will keep their individual practices over the group's needs. So that is the dynamic what one needs to understand. Drishta wants to say something. Yes, Drishta.
I was just actually, I interpreted your question slightly differently. Pooja ji, I thought what you were asking was that how come we're able to collaborate like this on projects such as the one you were describing, or any sort of work also that we do. We find it much more easier to come together and collaborate on that. But when it comes to the everyday life of our personal living, there also we'd like to collaborate. But how come we're not able to do it there? So that's how I was hearing the question. And so I just had a thought regarding that, which was that we are able to collaborate on projects of work or anything that needs to be done in the material world because there the goal that we've all kind of identified is very easy to see. So everyone can see it quite clearly. Okay, we need to build a house. We'll come together and build the house. For that, we need to make the bricks. We need to lay them together, etc., etc. They're all very material, visible, sensorily visible things, steps that all lead to a very visible goal of building a house. But to live in a home, what is required there? To have a home, if that's the goal, what is required there? That means, what is the goal of a family? I think that we don't understand because we don't really understand what the project of human life altogether is. So, okay, in a family, what do we do together? We'll do the basics. We'll take care of the food, the health, the medicine, security, schooling, not education even, I think. But in most families, we're taking care of schooling, the books, the notebooks, the attendance, the whatever, the material parts of that goal. Because I don't think we are in order to be able to identify and work towards a non-material goal or an abstract goal, we really need to actually be able to understand it first. Whereas it's much more easier to identify material goals. So we haven't, I think what you're saying, what Papa was saying about needing education in order to identify a collective common goal, that becomes even more pertinent in these abstract goals. Say, what is the goal of a family? What is the goal between any relationship, between a parent and child, siblings, husband and wife, friends, classmates, even? The goal of classmates together, the collective goal of classmates is not to attain some grade or anything like that. It's what we don't recognize is that the goal there are the values exchanged, the collaboration in each other's internal growth. and understanding and independence, because because that is the human purpose. So when we understand the human project, that is what are all humans here for, then we can align according to that, even on the day-to-day basis. Because all these material things are, there from time to time. You don't need to keep doing it all the time. Once you've prepared the food, now you have some time until the next meal needs to be prepared. What do you do in the middle? For that, there is a goal which is continuous throughout our lives. There is a goal, there is a purpose that is maintained. And that goal is for independence and harmony with each other. That is independence and contribution towards each other's independence. So, yeah, that was what I was thinking about the day-to-day collaboration.
I think, yeah, thanks, Drishta. That's been very, very well explained and well put. And this perspective is, I think, which is more relevant to all of us on a daily basis. Yeah, thanks.
So anybody else who wants to share something or add to this conversation?
Hello, this is Sandeep. Am I audible?
Yes, Sandeep.
Indeed, very valuable addition, Drishta. What I got from this was my attention went towards the time in the middle of, for example, meal preparation or having meals. And what I noticed was that, and it has been pointed to by some of my well-wishers and my friends and families as well, is having a handle on the abstract things is a very difficult thing personally for me. And I'm still struggling with that. And because maybe there is no proper training, maybe it's just the innate capabilities. Everyone is different. But having the values, the collaboration, the purpose, these are not really tangible things or black and white things which I can see with the eyes or put a finger on. So it's something like a learning I'm going through from time to time. This workshop helped me having the thread in the life or the purpose or the looking at the overall picture. So I just wanted to share that having a handle on the abstract things is something that I'm learning yet, and I'm just getting help on that angle with the content of the workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep. Yeah, anybody else who wants to say something on this topic?
Add a thought that I've been, it's just been striking me more and more recently. Because the thing, like with, say, human values, it's much more easy to understand that they could be universal because, we all want respect, we all want generosity, we all, like the values seem more obvious. But with purpose, there's always been, like, through my life, it's been the sense of, like, what is your purpose or what is their purpose, so as if it's an individually created thing. And more and more, it's striking me that actually purpose has to be universal for harmony to happen. Because basically, if we have purposes which are at odds with each other, then there can never be harmony. And so the whole universality of purpose is striking me more and more. And of course, we can have a sub-purpose, like we might grow a farm, or somebody might teach. So there could be different purposes in that way. But all the purposes have to be ultimately aligned with the human goal, with the human purpose. And unless it is that, we can never hope for harmony. So then understanding what that purpose is and what the nature of it, explicitly and in detail is so important. So that's just what was striking me.
Very important point. So there is a overall purpose, the human goal, which is the main collective goal, and all the rest of the goals, whichever we identify, can never violate this human goal. That is what needs to be understood. So we start with the collective goal, but the idea is to identify the human goal, which that we later on in the workshop we talked about. Manjuji wanted to say something.
Yeah, I did, but then I'm a little confused. Even the question is confusing me. What exactly do we mean by education?
Yeah. Okay. So education,
And
when we
how,
mean,
I mean, step by step, how does it work out?
Yeah.
You start from today, say.
Yeah. So education is basically about understanding the human being. That is one important component of that. And when we say understanding of human being, then the understanding of the human conscious properly. So that is one component of the education. Second is this human being is not alone. It is in a whole world. It is in the entire existence. It is in the universe. So understanding that this universe is a system in itself, it's a coexistential system. So understanding this coexistence of the existence, that is another content of education. And the third thing is this human being has to do something in this world. So there is a conduct. Doing is conduct basically. So the conduct, how is he going to conduct itself or himself or herself? So understanding that part is also part of the education. So there are three basic components of this education: understanding of the self or this understanding of the human being, one part. Second is the understanding of the coexistential harmony in the existence. That is the second part. And the third is the understanding of the humane conduct, because that is what will result in collaboration. That is what will sustain the collaboration. That is what will bring us sustainable happiness and peace. So that is what we mean by education.
That I understand, but if one says, how does it work in life with the whole world? Because we're talking of coexistence and we're talking about being aware of consciousness and all that. If somebody is not, then how do they get to that?
So the
and
first
then
step
also,
is,
this also bothers me. There are different personality types, no? Also.
right.
So how does it all get together?
So see, initially what happens is, first when we listen to this content and it connects to us in some manner, but our methodologies of taking it to the outside world are based in our earlier practices. So we look at it from that glass only, that kind of a outlook, that kind of a worldview, that where what will I do if the other person doesn't understand? How can I live coexistence or justice or uh, be in humane conduct when the other is being inhuman, right? That is the basic question that you are asking. So
recently I've gone past this question.
Okay.
Recently I've gone past this question. I've come to a little thing that, okay, suppose, leave me out of it. I'm not saying for me only, but how will this whole thing work? So you have to have schools that bring you to this knowledge, right?
Sure.
And then the parents will learn. Then the parents can. So how will it work actually?
So how do we take it to the world? So we do workshops. Through the workshops, there will be people who will collect, who will feel like maybe we should do something in education. This has happened several times for the last 30, 40 years that I've been associated with this thing. A lot of educational efforts have been started. Some have worked to a certain extent, some have not worked to a certain extent. And this process will go on till the time we come to and again, we are thinking of doing something in education. And there are different groups trying to do this. There was a time when we even attempted to start a university, but that was premature, so it did not start. So all this will keep on happening. It's going to go through education. A lot of governments are interacting. State governments, national government want to interact on basis of this because they see that it appeals to people. They don't understand its value and they don't understand its working, but they do definitely see that it makes a connection with people. So they want to propagate it at times. But we are very few people, so we can only address a little bit amount of things right now. So slowly, the numbers will grow, and people like you will start participating in it. And this is how. So anybody who's living anywhere can start having an impact in his or her local area. And it is not a centralized model; it's a decentralized model in this. So everybody can become a source for harmony in their surroundings. Yeah, Krishna wants to add something to this.
Actually, I wanted to ask a question. Veda. This is Veda.
Oh, you're Vida. Okay, from this
Yeah.
account.
My question was, I mean, my initial question was the same as Panchaji, but I mean, I understand the content, what will be the content of education, which is
Ah.
the answer to those three questions. My question was more that now is more that ki who can, before comprehensive understanding, who can actually really be responsible for right education? Because, yeah, that's my question.
So, see, the education, since it's a collaborative effort, because it is not between one person and one child, it is usually there is more than a few people involved in such an effort, depends on the scale. So, whatever the collective is there, their level of awareness will determine what the impact of what kind of process they'll follow and what impact they'll have. And it's a iterative process. It will take time. So there is no sure shot formula to say that this is how we have to do and this is the kind of, I mean, we can't create an army of teachers who's going around and taking over schools and converting them into awareness rich people.
Right.
That,
Yeah, but I'll phrase it a little differently. I mean, I understand that the first responsibility of education that we have as individuals is of our own.
yeah.
Our own education will have to be completed. But I'm saying before that happens, should we even take responsibility of, I mean, we have responsibility of educating the next generation, but how do you do that without causing more damage than good when your own comprehensive understanding is incomplete?
Yeah, this question actually, if you look at it from this viewpoint, that suppose you were responsible for, say, a 1-year-old child right now, and can the child manage without any education?
No.
No, right? So you are bound to give. There is a compulsion on your part to give something to the child, and you try to give the best that you have. Right? That's what one does. Now ask all the parents, whatever their understanding or awareness was, they try to do best with their children or their students or whatever younger generation. So actually to start sharing things with, once we understand that this is a role that we have to fulfill in our lifetimes, so we have to prepare for this. There is some process we have to undergo through, that we have to be authentic in this. We did talk about that authenticity in the workshop also. So to make sure that our level of understanding and our level of living has some evidence of what we're going to teach them. So we can start with basics, few things, and being very sincere about them, saying things which we live and saying things that we would like to live, but we are still not able to live in with clarity and honesty. Right? That is the only process. Because there is no escaping the education part.
Can I
If
say
I were to
something?
just,
Carry on, please.
I'll just add a little bit because authenticity was mentioned.
Yeah.
That I think naturally, as a parent of very small children, you will have to direct them in some way or the other, curate their environment in some particular way or the other. And they will not, when they're very small, have the capacity to know that you're actually doing the best that you can, which is limited still, say, before you have understood. But then very soon after, I think it doesn't take very long for the child to become capable of seeing the, I mean, not seeing fully, but accepting the fact that my parents might not know everything yet if you start talking to them in that way. So I think part of authenticity is to give all that you have and the best that you have understood. I mean, give what you have understood, you can help them understand. What you have done, you can help them do. And that whole thing, what you have learned, you can help them learn. But authenticity also includes that what you have not understood and what you just believe, you let them know that this I have not understood. This is a gap. I'm trying to understand it, and this is my working assumption about it. And I think when you practice that on a regular basis, I think children also become capable of processing it, and then they will apply themselves on helping you figure it out, even. I think that is quite doable. So it doesn't have to be when you've completed your education, reached realization that you can actually, only then can you start sharing with others. We don't stop sharing when, like, we don't
Yeah.
stop living.
Yeah.
Whatever we've understood, we share. It's just that we should be aware of what we have understood and what we only believe and declare it as such.
Right. Best to the best of our abilities.
Yeah.
Sometimes our beliefs, we feel that we know.
Yeah. That's why I think the first step, the requirement to be authentic, is to actually self-introspect and know what we know really and check what are just beliefs and why we choose to believe that versus something else.
Dhirendraji, you wanted to add something?
Sir, Ashok ji, I want to add this. What Drishta said, introspect, and the another thing which is start. We are talking about the system, education system. The first education start from the family, the parents. The next step then comes to the schooling, and then you choose the schools and the conditions and your financial backgrounds. But first thing, basic fundamental thing is how you are raising your child at home. In the beginning, when he's a toddler, when he is focusing only you, when he is listening, grasping the things. So this is the very baby step. Every parent should focus on that, but they are focusing on the other materialism thing, the word which is focusing only materialism on negativism and the competition. So my say to this discussion and about the education, sir, you should focus first your child, his upbringing, his culture, his health, his positivity. Then you start further. And it is a continual process. It is a practice and practice. I am basically a sports person. I still do the practice because I want to be achieve in my such a age. I am now 65. I do my exercise. I do my physical activities. I I play to be single game in badminton, but now it is tough. Now I'm playing double game. Depend on my stamina. So I want to say, sir, this system, this philosophy needs to be first introspect. Then you continue, and continue. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dhiren. So, Manjuji, was your question answered, or was there some gap still left? Manjuji? I think she's away from the screen for the time being.
Continue, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, anybody else? Anybody else on this topic of collaboration, education, collective goal, what we are talking about right now?
Can I, my earlier question that I had, yeah. So that was more about the process of, I think it's what Manjuji is also trying to ask, ki, what would the process of education look like um, after comprehensive understanding, or yeah, oh, just in the process of people trying to understand it, what would the process of education look like? Where all would it take place? Who would be? That's where my question of who would be doing it and should they be doing it came out. So.
Right. So, one thing I would like to add, I don't know whether Manjuji is back or not. This whole thing about once when we listen to this content initially, then we start thinking this whole idea of like, if the other person is not trying to be in harmony, the other person does not know the coexistence, they does not know, understand justice, then how will I manage with this person? So the thing is, we did talk about in this workshop that we just completed, and I usually talk about this, that we have to first look at our understanding. You keep on carrying on the way you have been carrying on till date. First of all, there is no expectation of you to make some changes in your conduct because there are no do's and don'ts. We are not saying you have to do this or you don't have to do this. So whatever you're doing, you've been doing, keep continuing doing. The point is keep focusing on understanding this content if you find it useful. When you start understanding the content, there are certain things which will come from inside of you that you will want to try out, which you will want to explore in your relationship. And for that, the condition is not that the other person has to be in a certain way, because this is not a preaching here that we have to live in justice. This is not a message that we are trying to say that we must live in justice. We are saying humans are happy in justice. If you wish, you can try it out. So if you understand this particular point, then you will try to live out justice best to your capability. And every attempt will motivate you more to understand it better, to change your actions more in tune to your understanding. So this is a process that one has to undertake. And once this starts happening, there comes a stage when you start feeling, yes, I can live by this. This is easy to live by. This is the conclusion you come to after some time. This takes some time, definitely. It might take a few years, but it does happen. And once that starts happening, then there is no looking back. Then any situation, your go-to thing is this understanding. Now you have the tools to deal with. So this is how it propagates. So once you have a person who's confident, look, whether they've understood or not, but once they have this confidence, look, I want to live according to this philosophy now. So they start making changes in their life. They start doing things which start helping others around. And that becomes the node for more multiplication of such a process. It becomes more inspiring for others so that they can undertake their own educational process. People start asking you, what happened to you? You seem to have changed. There is some difference in you. How are you able to see these things? How are you able to address this thing? How are you able to answer such things? There seems to be clarity in you. All these things start coming to you. So people get inspired by that. But it takes time. It won't happen just by doing 1 or 2 workshops, right? That I've always said clearly. It takes time. It is a process. Right? Yeah. Anybody who wants to say something, add to this?
Continue, sir.
Yes.
I still think that my question is a little unanswered, because the process of self-education has become a little, you elaborated on that.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, the more confidence we get after practicing it in some capacity, our motivation to explore it more will increase, and also people will get inspired by it. But I think my question remains of what the process would look like for when it happens. What would the process of education look like? And I mean, and not just in terms of a school. What would it look like in the house, in the home, in some sort of official organization, if it has to happen that way? That is more my question.
Yeah. So that process, see, it needs to be discovered right now. And things are discovered when their need arises, right? So we are maybe at a different stage altogether right now. We're basically scratching the surface of what would education be like according to this philosophy. We are at that level right now. So what that process would look like would be that how we address the emotional states of the children. How do we understand address their psychological states, how we are able to address their intellectual needs, how we are able to address their emotional needs, as well as their material needs and physical well-being. So there are mechanism and a proper curriculum will need to be devised according to that, right? We have some guidelines, but they are very skeletal guidelines. But what will actually happen in the, say, on the ground level, that the need has to arise and some work has to be done in that. So I find myself as not capable of answering exactly what it will look like, that process will look like right now. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, Manjuji.
Also, doesn't it, to me, it feels it's asking too much for the whole world to feel and think the same way.
But we're not talking about seeing the same or feel the
Yeah,
same.
but no, we're saying humans to live in certain ways, which I agree with, and I would like to, and therefore I would like to be part. But to expect that everybody in the world would like to also believe in this method or
No, but
believe in these things.
there is no such expectation, na?
No,
We just,
but then then it will be like a case of the good and the bad, or the materialists and the non-materialists, or like someone wants to cut a forest because they think there's money, and they won't change their thinking. So, is it possible that everybody will change their thinking? And
no, I'm not talking about changing anybody's thinking. That's what I'm saying. See, our problems arise in.
But are there people who will themselves change their thinking? Forget, not that you're asking them to change. Is there a world like this? Has there ever been a world like this? The whole, everybody thought the same way and felt the same.
So again, you're not listening. I'm saying we don't expect them to think the same way and to feel the same. We're not even saying this. Why are you assuming so? Because this is coming from the way you thought earlier. This is the traditional spiritual way of thinking.
Like
or this is also materialism. Also, it is the same way of thinking that people will think in uniform manner.
Here also is a collaboration emerges from a total commitment to the collective goal. Collective means everybody, according to me, for now.
Yeah, collective goal. So this is
but the
principle.
goal won't be the same, no? I mean, people will. Is it possible that everybody's goal will be the same? I mean, it would be lovely if it was, but
I'm not saying will it be the same, will not be the same. What is your collective goal? Do you identify with the human goal? Do we understand what the human goal is? We are putting meanings to these words right now. Where we are thinking of things, I don't know what, like it's an imposed goal. We are not saying this is an imposed goal, this is a realized goal. Collective goals are never imposed goals, these are realized goals. Once you start understanding, so for example, I'm living in a family and a bunch of 4 or 5 people. Now, I can keep living in this group as having my own individual goals. And I also have a choice to look at it. Okay, if what would be the best goal for all of us, in which everybody is taken care of. This is my personal viewpoint. If I want to take a look at what is the well-being of all in terms of these 4 or 5 people. And once I identify that and I try to live by that. What is the problem with that part?
It's also a bit feeling idealistic.
What is the idealism part about?
Because humans are different, no?
Again, you're going to the other person. See, your problem is you're more focused on the other person.
No, right now I'm saying it's not about me and you and this and that. I'm saying, how is it possible that the whole thing can happen together like this?
All I'm saying is, first of all, we have to look at it from the viewpoint. Can I make that choice for myself? Till the time I am able to see this point, yes, I can make this choice for myself. Forget the world. You're carrying the burden of the whole world on your shoulders. Drop that. Don't worry about the world right now. There is no point. worry about yourself. You want to be happy, right? For your happiness, you have to be in harmony. That is the principle that we are propagating. Unless until you are in harmony with your fellow human being, you will not be happy. So there is some part of conduct in you which needs to be fine-tuned, which needs to become humane. Then only will you achieve happiness. It has got nothing to do with the other right now. This is the distinction that you need to understand.
Actually, I'm not talking of the other in that sense.
In the what I'm saying here,
the other and myself. So I'm doing the study for myself, not for another.
No, studying, but what I'm talking about is this living in harmony. This whole question which keeps on coming again and again is, if the other one is not listening, then how will the harmony be? Right? What I'm saying is, if the need for harmony within you and your actions becoming harmonious is not dependent on other people's actions and understanding. They're based on your understanding and actions. And that becomes the source for inspiration for others.
Okay. But for that, you have to be someone somewhere. Like a kid has a father who doesn't believe in this, and father's head of the family.
Did you lose the connection?
Prashantji, you are saying something? Sorry. Manjuji, sorry.
See, the child wants to follow and has these beliefs of living consciously and all that. But see, the father doesn't.
No, Manjuji, again, these are all imaginatory examples because there is no father, no child.
There are.
There is no father, no child. That's what I'm saying. If you try to apply to these things, you will not getting the essence.
Achha. Okay.
I would suggest you come for another workshop.
Not another, many other.
No, one more, that's all. Drishta, you wanted to add something, sorry.
I just wanted to, this is Veda, but Drishta also wants to say something. But I think from what Manjuji is saying, I can maybe just share what I feel about how I see it, which is that, I mean, this whole concern of that, how will everybody have an acceptance of the collective goal? But actually, what he's saying, Papa, about the fact that until it happens for me, until it happens that I have commitment to collective goal, until I see why I started having a commitment to the collective goal, it's really difficult for me to even fathom how it would happen for somebody else. For me, it happened personally. For me, it happened by seeing that, okay, I have a need for justice. I have a very strong need for justice in my relationships. And then in my interaction with my closer family, I see, or other people in the workshop, and their sudden, as soon as they hear about it, it really appeals to them. Then you see that other people also have this very, very strong need for justice. And then when you start interacting with people and you have this concept in your mind, you start seeing it everywhere, that everybody has this really strong need for justice. And it starts sort of solidifying in you that, okay, if everyone has this need, then this will appeal to everybody, maybe not in the same format, language as it did to me, but since it's such a strong need, when it's right, when they have that need to understand, it will appeal to them. So therefore, I naturally have this feeling, it's still a belief, I suppose, that everybody will eventually be able to have a commitment to the collective goal, because their natural need is of the collective goal.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think yes, of course. It always comes down to yourself, actually. You have it, you can live accordingly, and others it can spread to where you are, because you're comfortable and you change according. You change in a certain way, and then something around you changes.
Yeah. I also find it to be quite the need, the identification of the need is permanent. My motivation to gain answers fluctuates between wanting relief and wanting clarity. But I do think that identifying the need, that, yeah, I do want justice, and that is unchanging since that concept sort of clicked to me.
And I think just to add, I think exactly what Veda is saying, that as soon as you recognize that this is very naturally a need for me, and then you are able to also see how it is a need for everyone else, how everyone is also seeking it. In the same way, when you start understanding it and that need gets fulfilled for you, for instance, here it's saying that humans need harmony. And so first you recognize that need in yourself, and then upon educating yourself and understanding and becoming harmonious, you start seeing, oh, this harmony is actually fulfilling me. It is actually fulfilling that need. And when you start seeing that in yourself, you also start seeing that this harmony in me is also fulfilling to other people. So not only is our need shared, but also its fulfillment is the same. And that's what gives us the ability to see that actually everyone can recognize and adopt that collective goal.
Yeah. Anybody else wants to add to this discussion? This part of the discussion? Prashant bhai, you had wanted to say something in this?
Yeah, I think that point I got disconnected in between. Just one point that I wanted to draw was, I think even during the discussion at Sambhaavnaa kind of touched upon the collective goal. I think I always kind of understood in a way that this collective goal is for at least understanding, building my understanding and how I can, stay in harmony so that, once I understand the collective goal, I start living in harmony. And it's also kind of an evidence in my living that helps live in my family, and then the sphere grows to a like society and kind of becomes bigger and bigger. So that's the way I see it. And I feel that, it's more of like an inner journey, understanding ourselves and then look at how we can live in harmony with others. So complementary and being useful to the other people around and also the other states in the existence. I think that's the way I have understood.
Right. Yeah. Anybody else wants to add? We have 10 minutes before we close.
Continue, sir.
We are continuing.
There's a very long pause.
Yeah, pauses are all part of process.
No, I understand, sir. I was saying in a different manner. Gee. Please.
Yeah.
I thought we were meeting till 11:30.
No, 9:30 to 11.
Okay.
1.5 hours. Okay. So, since nobody else has to say something, then I'll say something.
Please.
Yeah. So the point which is coming out of this is, it started with how will this education process start, right? So Veda made a very good point that we have to see how it started with us. What made the difference for us? So if we look at it, we'll see that we were in a certain kind of a mental space when we came in contact with this kind of a content, this workshop. And something appealed to us out of this workshop. And that has made us hang on to this, that, okay, there is something here and I want to explore it further, right? So similarly, such a connection you can see can happen with a lot of other people who are in a similar kind of a mental space or maybe different mental spaces, but they'll make a different connection. So I've seen several workshops over the last few years, more than 12 years, and people connect because of their own need. I've never seen that, like, for example, two examples I'll give. One is that where governments have sent their teachers for a workshop. So there is an order which is passed by the senior officer, IS officer, who says 100 of you have to go and attend the workshop. And I've seen a place, workshops in which most of them didn't want to attend. And there, what happens is because they've not come with willingly, so it is so difficult just to conduct that workshop because there is no willingness, right? So it is not going to happen if person is not willing. So that is one point I make. Second example is when parents and guardians send the younger generation, you must go and do this workshop. It will be good for you. And sometimes children come and they're obedient, but it doesn't work for them. And the other times they say, more than me, it is my parent who needs the workshop. This is the feedback they give after the workshop. So it doesn't multiply like that by making others do it, others think. There are enough people in this world who are considering these issues. I mean, I feel more than 50% people of this world are concerned about what is happening around them and they're looking for answers, right? So when we announce a workshop, there are people who respond freely to them just by reading the whatever poster we send or something like that, and it appeals somewhere there, right? Then there is also a feedback mechanism to people, to the society, because these workshops have been going on for the last 20, 30 years. So there are a lot of people who have gone through this. So they give their conduct, their way of living, the benefit that they got or didn't get, all that determines the reputation of such a workshop. So that is happening. That is why a lot of people keep coming here in these workshops. So now that information that there is a good workshop which talks about relationships, talks about values and things like that is there. That is how some of you might have heard about it. That's why you might have come for such a workshop. But now how to take it one step further, how to bring it into education. Now to bring into education is a long-term commitment to anything. And for that, we need a team of people, even to start a small group. I mean, even a very loosely structured program, we'll need some group who are only committed for this. You can't have any other commitments then. Like if I was to go in for education, then I can't go around doing workshop. Then I have to focus on that process of education. So that kind of a dedicated group is needed if we want to take it forward. How would it look like in schools and classroom? That is something which is left for exploration. People who have whatever understanding, they'll try to do something and we will come up with something. And we have some guiding principles which we'll collectively do and understand. And the commitment to do this, and as Drishta is saying, commitment to each other, right? That is very important. So, yeah, Drishta, you want to add something to this?
Oh, all I was saying was that not only do we then need a group that is committed to educating full time, but the ability to be able to educate children in harmony full time is first going to require our ability to be harmonious with each other. That means that group needs to be able to have committed relationships with one another and be able to live harmoniously in those relationships. And I think from all the examples that I have seen or attempts that I have seen, that is where the biggest difficulty arises actually. It's in the team that starts the school or the learning spaces that we are not able to find some sort of concordance with each other. And that's why things kind of become unsteady, things kind of break apart, team members leave, then other team members come, and then again the same problem arises with those new team members.
Yeah.
And so I think the biggest hiccup in uh, running a school based on this is first our own education in being able to live harmoniously and committedly with others that we are working with and living with.
So there's a minimum level of awareness about relationships and conducting ourselves in relationships in a harmonious manner, which is needed, without which such attempts will not be successful. Second thing is this doesn't work as a mission kind of a thing. In the missionary mode, you can't do that. We have to change this world, or we have to take out these kind of problems from the world, or that missionary or activism mode, it doesn't work. That is not the process in this. It comes out of extending your joy from yourself to your family to the community. That is the mode, right? Because it makes sense to me to be living in harmony. That's what extends to the family, and that's what that family will extend to the community. It will not be in a missionary mode. It will not be to change the world. I mean, I always feel that is too much of a burden that we carry about just changing the world. Pooja ji, you want to say something?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that I'm not on mute. So I was on.
Anyway, our time is more or less over. So before we close, anybody who wants to add something, say something, just express something, you're more than welcome.
Yeah. Hello.
Rishabh.
Yeah. So I'm still like grasping like how do I start with this collaboration? So there is probably a basic set of understanding that I have and a certain level of commitment perhaps and an acceptance. But since it is not comprehensive understanding, that means there is no total acceptance, and then there's no total acceptance, then there's no total commitment.
Yeah.
So for me, I guess the education part is attending JV and then understanding.
Yeah, continuing this learning process, whether through workshops or through groups or whatever, individually also by understanding books and things like that. So yeah, these are the few ways we can do that. Workshops are very conducive in part.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Manjuji.
Where are you right now? What's in the background? It's very nice.
This is Sambhaavnaa Institute in the background,
You're
but I am
still
in
there.
Dehradun.
Acha. Oh, okay. Okay.
That's the photograph of the. See, most of the people here are from who have attended workshops at Sambhaavnaa. So for that reason, I put that photograph as my background, just so that everybody could feel nostalgic and feel that we are at the same place.
Okay, it's beautiful, that place.
Yeah, it's a lovely place. It's the most beautiful campus I have come across. Yeah. Okay. So before we end, I just want to add that the idea of these sessions is that we talk, we discuss, we share. This is not the workshop format where I'll talk and you listen. So I look forward to more participation. You all have the presentations with you. Yeah, Rishabh, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just saying that because this was about a collective goal, and I don't have an understanding of collective goal, so I mean, I'm not able to connect with it a lot. So
Okay, so we can take up that issue in the next workshop then, maybe.
Yeah. And we should do a poll again, I think, for whether to keep it on Saturday or Sunday, because this time in the group, a lot of people said that they can't attend on Sundays.
Yeah, some people said they can't attend on Sundays, and some said they can't attend on Saturday. because they're working. So, what was that?
I'm saying then taking a poll again will be useful to see the numbers.
Yeah. No, and we maybe will need to do 2 sessions for those who can do it on Sunday and those who can do it on Saturdays, maybe. Let's see. Let's do the poll. Okay.
Are these being recorded?
Yeah, this is being recorded. Okay. Yes, they are. So, in fact, I'll stop the recording once we are out. So all I was saying was that this needs to be more interactive, because otherwise it will become non-sustainable. When you start engaging, then things, your interest keeps on continuing, right? So we need to engage. And for this, I was suggesting we all have the presentations. So this time we did a little bit of the background. Next time we can take a look at the, say, the comparison, whole flow of the work. I'll just show you that, in fact. I'll just show you that. Yeah. From this to human goal, right? Human goal being universal well-being and propose. Till here, you guys can consider this as the content for discussion for our next session. Okay. So, and you can post questions about this in the group. We can respond to them. We can have messages, or we can have voice messages. All those things are most welcome during the week also, if you have any questions on that. Okay.
1 second. I don't have it like this. After collaboration, I have collaboration 2, and then types of human relationships in society. Mine's slightly different.
Which one is this? The one which I had shared with you the last time, or the one which shared?
No.
So this is a new presentation. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I got it all printed and all.
That's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I keep changing these according to the participants and what we talked about in the workshop. Then, so I keep changing them. They keep evolving. They're still work in progress. Yeah. So I'll share it with you. Okay. So the content till there we will take as a topic for discussion, because we only have 1.5 hours. We'll just do small modules and move forward.
Okay. So can you just post that much now? With what we're going to do?
I'll send you right now after this session. I'll message you. I have your number.
All right.
I'll send you. Yeah. Okay then.
Thank you, Ashok
everyone. Welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashok.
All. God bless you.
Yeah.